What is up, guys? Welcome back. Today, just going to do something a little bit different. I'm out running errands, and I had a thought pop into my head. Not really a thought, but something that I do almost every 4 years, unfortunately. So I'm just leaving Academy, and if y'all didn't know, there's a national ammo shortage going on right now. And thankfully, today, I was able to find 40 Smith & Wesson, no 9mm, no 5.56, no 38 Special, no 223. So you kind of have to get in early, and I knew they get a truck in Friday, it's freaking Monday. Get a truck in Monday and Thursday, but I didn't get up here when they opened. You know, it is what it is. But so that kind of leads me to what this video is going to be about. So last week I was out on a ruck, and I started thinking about all the things that I generally do every 4 years when there's an election. And that's, buying ammo, buying high capacity magazines, because we all know that high capacity is over 10 rounds, at least in California's eyes, and other states, unfortunately. And then low receivers, either serialized or 80%. So it doesn't really matter what it is, and if it's pretty much anything gun related, they're gonna try to ban it. I mean, it's just, it freaking sucks. But I'm just going to kind of go into some things. So California just passed their new state bill. It's SB 118. And it is changing a lot of the verbiage of what you're allowed to do and what you're allowed to possess, and you're not allowed to transfer. And if you had it from this day, you're exempt, but you still have to register it. So if you want to go look that up, I'll put a link in the description. But specifically look at the 14th, 15th, and 16th sections that has to do with their firearms. I didn't scroll any further past that, but there might be something else in there. Also, beginning of the year, House Bill H.R. 5717. Yeah, let's talk about that one for a minute. There is like 12 or 14 bullet points of what they want to do to make it harder for law-abiding citizens to buy a firearm. Specifically, which this blows my mind. You're going to need a license to purchase, possess ammo and a firearm. So I don't know what y'all state laws are wherever y'all live, but in Florida, you can buy a firearm without a license. But if you have a concealed weapons permit, a CWP, you don't have to wait the 3 days. You can walk into a gun shop, you can buy it, you can turn around, you can walk out. Now, if you don't have it, you gotta wait 3 days. And that's from, now if you put it on layaway, that's from when you make the final payment, when it's paid in full. At least that's how most people do it, because I've asked that question. Alright, so one of the things that I believe everybody should start buying before November, before the election, so like a pre-election, pre-November purchase list, alright? First off, I'd say ammo, because of the ammo shortage. Do it like once a week, once every 2 weeks. Just so y'all know, I'm not bullshitting. I mean, I went to Academy, and this is what I got. So it's better than nothing. You know, you make it work. It was $22 plus tax. So I know stuff's tight right now with COVID, people losing their jobs, getting their hours cut, but I'm sorry, you can't tell me that you can't make 20, 30 bucks a week, even every 2 weeks, possible to better arm yourself and be a proud American citizen. Next, I'd say magazines. Magazines are starting to dry up too. They're starting to get scarce. Especially Glock 17, Glock 19, the MMP Sports, the Sig Sawyers, however you want to pronounce it. Now, that comes with a caveat to it that if it's under 10 rounds, I wouldn't be too terribly concerned with it, just because that seems to be the magic number that the liberals have in their mind, that you can't kill anybody with less than or 10 rounds or less. But so if you have like a 1911 like carry edition, it's got like 7 rounds in it, I wouldn't worry about it. But if you're trying to get Glock 19 mags, are hard to find, especially in stores. So I was fortunate enough, I went on to grabagun.com and was able to find the 32 or 33 round magazines for Glock, the 9mm. I bought 2 of them. $17 plus shipping, unfortunately, but $17. Yes, it's not Glock brand, it's not Magpul, whatever. It's a brand I've never heard of, but whatever. I'd rather have it, use it for the range, and save the 2 Glock ones that I have for self-defense, if you will, for my AR-9. But it's just those are one of the things they're going after too. They're trying to get rid of. So you got to kind of keep that in mind as well. So with California's SB 118, it has, I don't know the exact verbiage, but it has something to do with the 80% lowers, whether it be the polymer 80s for Glocks, FNs, Smith & Wessons, or the 80% lowers for AR that you got to mill out. So that's something else that you should probably think about trying to find. A lot of the P80 places are out. They're doing a lot of pre-sales, which is kind of annoying because they're just, I don't know. They want your money, obviously. That's the goal of any business, I understand that. But the fact of the matter being, you're going to want us to pay $150 and wait 2 to 4 months if you're lucky. I'm not cool with that. Not right now, at least. Right now, instant gratification. So I was fortunate enough, a couple days ago, I went on and bought a P80 Glock 17 lower from RockyBrass.com. It's under $150, free shipping. I haven't gotten it yet, so I don't know how long shipping takes. So that's something else to keep in mind. So 80% or serialized lowers, because it's not going to matter if Biden gets arrested. I wish he would get arrested if he gets elected. But there's a bunch of stupid people that live in the United States that would vote for that ignorant fool. He brags, and it's funny if you do a little research. He brags about, well, I got the assault weapons ban passed in the 90s. Well, good for you, Joe. Good for you. Nobody fucking cares. But let's think about this for a second. But you can buy assault weapons now. So what changed? I'll tell you what changed, and it wasn't really a change, it was how it was written. It's a sunset clause in the bill. So basically they were trying to prove that violent crime was due to the assault weapons. So they wanted to ban it. But it came with the stipulation that if crime doesn't go down within 10 years, the law gets repealed. So I wouldn't be bragging too much about that, Joe, because yeah, you did it for 10 years, but guess what? Now there's more Armalite rifles in the hands of the United States citizens than there ever has been. And yes, I understand that 1990 and 2000 was 20, 30 years ago, but let's get real. You know, there's always this debate about the Second Amendment. You know, a lot of your Democrats, a lot of your liberals, they like to resort to, well, just buy a shotgun. Just buy a shotgun. Buy a 12 gauge and 20 gauge shotgun. If y'all are laughing, y'all know exactly what I'm doing.
If you want to protect yourself, get a double barrel shotgun. Have the shells, a 12 gauge shotgun. And I promise you, as I told my wife, we put that double barrel shotgun and fired 2 blasts outside the house. I promise you, whoever's ever coming in is not going to, you don't need an AR-15. It's harder to aim, it's harder to use, and in fact, you don't need 30 rounds to protect yourself. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun.
Because I laugh every time I see that because he's that much of a moron. But last time I checked, the Second Amendment says nothing about hunting. The right of a free state and shall not be infringed. Now, yes, it is not word for word, but for a well-regulated militia. There's nowhere in there that says anything about hunting. And the debate that always likes to come out too, well, you don't know what the forefathers meant when they wrote that law. Okay, yeah, maybe you're right. But I can tell you right now, you're not. Do a little research. I'm going to put some quotes at the end of this video that the forefathers said throughout history, before and after the Declaration of Independence, to talk about what they meant and their stance on the gun laws and, you know, shall not be infringed, a well-regulated militia. So don't pull that bullcrap with me that the forefathers didn't expect it to go like this. Okay, so I always like to make this counter argument. Not that I totally believe it, but it's just more or less a way to kind of piss people off, maybe get you to think a little bit. But the First Amendment, free speech. Dude, back in the day, like the day, 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was written, they had a freaking guy on a horse that delivered the mail. They wrote with freaking quills on parchment paper or some type of whatever, not even real, I mean, it was real paper back then, but come on. So with that, let's get rid of the internet. Let's get rid of telephones, cell phones. Now that is completely and totally absurd. And I don't believe that should happen, but that's my argument, as just to kind of get things going. But it sounds absurd, but it doesn't sound absurd to get rid of firearms, even though it specifically says in the Second Amendment, shall not be infringed. I mean, let's think about that for a second. So, if y'all think the same way I do, not about the First Amendment, obviously, because that's just so far-fetched that it shouldn't even be a thing, but that's kind of how my mind works sometimes. If y'all agree with me with the Second Amendment, comment below, let me know. Like-minded people are hard to find unless you surround yourself with them. Now, also, if you don't believe the same thing that I do about the Second Amendment, you think it should be banned and whatever, comment down below. I'll debate. I don't care. But I'm not going to put up with, you're a racist, you're an inbred because you're a Republican. Now, get out of here with that bullcrap. Because if you're going to be like that, that's the only thing you got to say, then it ain't going to be a constructive debate. A debate is to make people look at the other mindsets of the opposite side. Calling people racist and inbreds and KKK members and all that has nothing to do with being a Republican, being a gun advocate, being a lawful gun owner. So, we go off on a little tangent about the KKK. Back in the day, that was the Democrats. So let that sink in for you. But lest we forget history, I mean, that's why we're tearing down all these freaking monuments, because we don't want to offend nobody and all these freaking snowflakes that live in this damn country. But it's just, it blows my mind the way America is today. I honestly never would have thought that I would have seen a day like this. And to be honest, it scares me, because I'm 10 weeks away from having my daughter. Not me, but my wife, obviously. But 10 weeks and the world is in freaking chaos. And not even just the world, the United States. It's ridiculous, dude. I mean, holy crap. Alright, I gotta run in and make a stop here at Publix real quick. But when I come back out, we're gonna continue this conversation, so we can finish up this list of essentials of what you should buy pre-November, pre-election. Alright, so I was thinking while I was in Publix, and I was talking about the 80% lowers, whether it be for the P80s or the ARs. If you're not technically or mechanically inclined, and you don't feel comfortable buying one, then don't. I mean, I'm not trying to say that you should either way. One reason why I like them, they're not serialized. The government has no idea that you own them, because there's no way to track it. That's your ghost guns that everybody loves to refer to.
This is a ghost gun. This right here has ability with a .30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second. 30 magazine clip in half a second.
So if you don't want to, and you don't want to fool around with it, then just go buy an AR-15 or an AR-10, whatever your preference, AR-9, whatever. I mean, I wasn't real sure about myself when I first built my first AR, but it's really not that hard. So there's a caveat to that. And if you don't want to, then just buy an AR. You don't even have to buy a balls to the wall tricked out Gucci one, just because there's really no need for it. Spend your money on ammo and save it on the gun. Trigger time's what's going to make you better, not a $3,000 Glock. So any parts, like precursor parts, is what they like to call them, especially in California in the SB 118. They're wanting vendors and retailers to get some bullshit license or certificate to be a precursor part seller. So if you want to build an AR-15, an AR-10, an AR-9, a P80 with whatever brand you choose, you might want to look into getting the lower parts kits, the upper part kit, the frame, or not the frame, the slide, the barrel, compensators, sights. Everything is in jeopardy right now. I mean, look at freaking, was it Beto? Beto? Whatever the hell his damn name is. God dang, he's freaking, oh my God, he's retarded. Talking about weapons of war don't belong on the streets of America. I 100% agree with that. But when you look up the definition of a weapon of war, it is not a civilian style AR-15. It's not even really an M4. You're talking Hellcat missiles, JDAMs, F-15 Tomcats. I mean, all that RPGs. I mean, all stuff like that. Like, that is weapons of war. The only thing that separates an M4 and an AR-15, the scary guns, the M4 can go between auto single, and I do believe burst. If it's not burst, correct me if I'm wrong. I was in the military, but I think it is. So, but Beto, they've kind of reined his ass in, which is kind of funny because he's way too over the top. They had to make him look like a fool. There is an interview on CNN, the argument that CNN makes. And if you know how CNN is, this will shock the hell out of you. What? They were making like pro-gun arguments to discredit Beto because he is so over the top. Hell yes, I'm going to take your AR-15s and your AK-47s. Bro, get out of here. Dude, he also talks about you can't fight a government with an AR-15. Well, that's why we have them. But you're trying to make it seem like, oh, well, I mean, you can't fight them with it anyway, so yeah, you really don't need them. If you're that gullible and that dumb, I feel sorry for you because there's no helping you with that mindset. All right, so real quick recap. Number one, I'd say buy ammo, since that's the hardest thing to find right now. And honestly, guys, if you want to buy it bulk, that's really the way to go because you're paying less per round. It's a little bit cheaper. But if I know it's expensive to buy bulk, but here's something: split it with friends, split it with family. You know, people you trust. Obviously, don't go find some random Tom, Dick, or Harry off the street and go, "Hey, you want to split a bulk load of 9mm with me?" Don't do that, please, for the love of God. Next, lowers, serialized, done, 80%, AR, P80, FN, whatever. Magazines, anything over 10 rounds. If it's not over 10 rounds, I honestly wouldn't worry about it, like I said, because that's where their sweet number is 10 and up, or above 10, excuse me. And if you want to, any gun you really want to buy, because they're only going to make it harder to get firearms for law-abiding citizens. And I don't know. I can't stress it enough. If you were to disarm America, look at Nazi Germany. They willingly turned in their firearms, their guns, their only self-defense. And they were freaking slaughtered, murdered. I mean, genocide. That is, I'm sorry. If that's what you want, oh my God. I'm not, no. If the day guns become outlawed, I will be an outlaw. Because I will not go to somebody's door and tell them they have to turn in their firearms. I won't do it. Because it's an infringement. Will I lose my job? Maybe. Depending on who my boss is. My boss right now? Hell no, I won't lose my job. Now, there's a different scenario with the risk protection orders, the RPOs. Those are total crock. That's just a backdoor way to have somebody take your firearms from you and go sit in the judge's chambers without you knowing about it, in secret. You can't even tell your side of the story, and they can say, well, I'm in fear of my life because he's going to shoot me with his gun, or he's going to kill himself with his gun. And you know what's going to happen? Show right up on your doorstep and go, yep, hand over all your firearms. It sucks that that's passed, but there's some things. I don't want to sound like a defeatist attitude, but there's some things you just kind of let go. I mean, that's one of them. It's stupid. It shouldn't even be a thing. I understand why it was put in. It was for the safety of self and safety of others. I get it. There's other ways to go about it. Well, I mean, there's just an incident. Is it Kyle Whitaker? Dude. Freaking idiot. I don't even know how to use a damn turn signal. Go back to Texas. He was there for a domestic. This has nothing to do with RPOs, but the officer showed up for a domestic, and he had a gun in his hand. It's like early in the freaking morning. So I don't know about y'all, but you knocking on my door that early, I'm gonna have a gun in my hand because I don't know who the hell you are. What you doing at my door? I think even the video, they didn't even announce themselves loud enough. But up in, is it Maryland somewhere? Up northeast, they went to go serve an RPO on somebody, and the guy grabbed for his gun and the cop shot him. Like, there's no need for that on either side. Now, did he pull a gun on law enforcement? Yes. Should he have? No. Did he pay the ultimate price because of that? Yes. Is it unfortunate? Hell yes, it is. So I'm not trying to 100% back up cops, but what happened to Whitaker, totally uncalled for. Should have never happened. That's bullshit. They should be fired and arrested. The RPO, man, that's obviously nobody knows the whole truth except for him, and he's dead, and the other party. And even if they were even being truthful about it, because that's kind of been one of the things with it is not truthful. But I'll get off this rant of the RPOs because that wasn't even going to be a part of this video. I just, I don't know, it popped in my head. So, alright guys, thanks for riding around with me today. If it's your first time here, like, subscribe, comment, share it with your friends, share it with your family. Trying to get to 100 subscribers is the first goal. We get to 100 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a giveaway, and I'll keep y'all updated as far as that goes. So, thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe. Keep your head on a swivel. Stay sharp. You know, be the sheepdog. Don't be a wolf. Don't be a sheep. For the love of God, we have enough of those already. So, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you on the next video, which will be the home hardening, home defense video, the first one. So, see you guys later. Peace.